What is going on? Welcome back to Big Apple Baseball Banter. Here for episode 45. Lockout is over. We're talking Mets moves. Let's banter. All right, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Big Apple Baseball Banter here on Big Apple Banter Media, episode number 45. It sure has been a while, hasn't it? Not going to go into too much detail about where I've been. Just nothing bad. I just been really busy with stuff. And there's been a lockout, so there really hasn't been much to talk about. So I'm back. I think this is kind of what my feel on YouTube is going to be, mainly podcasts like this. I did the live show for a while, kind of work schedule stuff got in the way with that. So now I think this is kind of my passion, kind of what got me back into wanting to do videos, is more podcast stuff like this. So we're gonna roll with that. The lockout is over, baseball is back, players are reporting to spring training. We got some Mets news to talk about. We got some spring training updates, stuff like that. We're gonna go into all of that. Let me just share this. We got a ton of good stuff to talk about, so let's get started. So, yesterday, or actually, no, Saturday night, I was taking a nap. Actually, I was really tired. Taking a nap, wake up, boom, Mets trade for Chris Bassitt. Who's Chris Bassitt? What do we trade for him? Well, the Mets traded JT Ginn and Adam Oller, both right-handed pitchers. JT Ginn was a really highly renowned draft prospect. He, I believe, got drafted by the Dodgers in the first round a few years ago. Didn't sign, went to Mississippi State. Had to get Tommy John dropped him a bit in the draft. We were able to pick him up. Guy I liked, but I'm a win now guy, especially with this team. I'm cool flipping him for Chris Bassitt. It's not like he's a top 100 prospect in all of baseball or something like that. That we're trading for Chris Bassitt, and Chris Bassett's a really good player. Adam Oller, not as familiar with him, not as highly touted. So who's Chris Bassitt? He was a 16th round pick back in 2011. That's 501st overall out of the University of Akron. He was actually originally drafted by the White Sox and then was traded actually alongside Marcus Semien in the Jeff Samardzija trade, and debuted in 2014. He didn't really start getting good playing time until 2019 and really broke out in the 2020 shortened season. So he's had two really good years. Last year, he was, I believe, an all-star for the Oakland A's. Pitch mix, he includes a sinker, which is his main pitch, fastball, cutter, that's kind of his main off-speed stuff, that and his slider, changeup and curveball he has as well, but doesn't throw it as much. He's a really good starter. He was arguably the ace for the Oakland A's back last season. I believe he got the opening day start. It was him or Montas, but they did not make the playoffs last year. But when they did the year before, I believe he pitched the first game of the playoffs. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, but yeah, he said in his press conference or his interview with the Mets he expected to be traded, and he's really excited to be added to this New York Mets staff with Jacob deGrom, Max Scherzer, Chris Bassitt as your three. That's what it's going to look like. Probably, I would say Walker 4, Carrasco 5. You can kind of flip the other two the other way. This has a lot of pros and cons. He's the third starter that the Mets desperately really needed. He pushes guys like Walker, McGill, and Carrasco back in the rotation. And then if you actually look at his pitching or some of his numbers, baseball savant stuff, he doesn't give up hard contact, which is obviously really nice, and doesn't walk too many guys. I believe his percentile was in the 80s, according to Baseball Savant. Cons, last year in his contract, not elite stuff, velo and spin-wise, but still a really solid pitcher. He gets the results. You guys know that's what I really care about. If we want to look at his baseball reference page, I believe it's sharing. Yep. Like I said, started out with the White Sox, 3.94 ERA in limited action. You see here, tough year in 2016. 2018 pitched a bit better, more limited action. 2019 he really started getting more action with the A's, and then like I said, that 2020 year, that 2.29 ERA. Obviously, ERA isn't everything, still a good stat. Three in the short season, of course, 3.51 really cemented. He got hurt, of course, took a line drive to the face, scary stuff right there. But he's just a really solid pitcher, man. He gets results. That's kind of really what I care about. And he's, like I said, he's not here to be the ace. He's a 3 starter. You can even get another pitcher and maybe make him the 4. I saw MLB Network graphic about him as the 5. Don't understand where that's from. He's the 3. If we don't get anyone else in this rotation, potentially could be the 4. Obviously, your 1-2, deGrom Scherzer is staying put. In other news, the Mets also signed Adam Ottavino to a 1-year, $4 million contract. He played last year with the Red Sox, was previously with the Yankees, really broke out with the Rockies, and then landed a good deal with the Yankees. His trade to the Red Sox is almost like a salary dump last year. Um, and here's the one issue with him. He's a solid pitcher, but he's 36 years old. He's really old. Uh, and he walks the absolute ballpark. Now, we just gave up. No, we didn't give up. We just lost Jerry Familia to free agency to the Philadelphia Phillies. Addition by subtraction, in my opinion. But just like Familia, he'll have those nights where he just cannot command the strike zone and walks everybody. It seems like every year Ottavino has that one dreadful inning. 2020, when we used to talk Yankees on this channel, we talked about that one inning versus the Yankees where I think he gave up like 6 runs or something. Bad, obviously, and that really inflated his numbers, especially in a shortened season. But on the pro side, it's a low risk. He was a stud at one point. He's got good stuff. He just walks the ballpark, and he doesn't give up too much hard contact. Slider is his money pitch, pitches some other stuff. Sinker, fastball are kind of his primary. Slider, sinker, fastball, curveball, cutter, changeup. They're more, secondary pitches. But he's a good player, man. He's here not to be the closer, not to be the setup man, not even to be the 7th inning guy. I know you don't necessarily always go that route. You look more at matchups and whatnot nowadays, which I prefer. But he can be a solid depth piece. Is he better than Diaz? No. Is he better than Trevor May? No. Is he better than Seth Lugo? Arguably, he's somewhere in that range. If I'm missing anyone, that just shows you the Mets need to upgrade their bullpen. There's still some guys we need to get. Andrew Chafin hopefully would be a really good addition, especially as a lefty. We don't really have anyone right now. But yeah, I like this move. $4 million. If he sucks, there's no such thing as a bad 1-year deal. You cut him or you just give him less time. Going on to spring training news, Jacob deGrom said in his press conference today that he will opt out of his contract at the end of the season. This is, I think, is expected by a lot of people. He's getting, I think, how much does he make a year? Under 30 million, I believe. And now seeing what Max got in the 40s, deGrom's going to want that. He's obviously, you can't bring up the age thing. deGrom's younger. He's better. And he's the homegrown guy. So I expect constant contact between deGrom, his agents, and Cohen, Epdog, everybody in the front office to try and get a deal done. But it looks like there's not going to be a deal done this season. You want to see how healthy he is, and you want to see kind of what his asking price is on the open market. But I do believe we are going to get him back. It would be an absolute disgrace to let this guy walk. If you have to pay him $45 million a year, you do it because this is a generational pitcher. He's a future Hall of Famer if he keeps up what he's doing right now. There's no way I want to see, obviously, Jacob deGrom leave and probably sign with, I don't know, fucking division rival probably if that were to happen. But no doom and gloom here. deGrom's opting out. Not a big deal. I think everyone expected that. Hopefully we get a deal done at the end of the season. Brandon Nemo as well has been in extension talks. He's expressed how he would like to be a Met long term. That would be awesome. I believe he's Scott Boras' client, so that might make it kind of difficult. There was obviously a clip of Epdog getting a phone call in the press conference. People were like, oh, is that Scott Boras for Brandon Nemo? Quite possibly could be. Nemo, you do hope to see him, be a little healthier. I think a move to left field is going to help with that a ton with Starling Marte in center field. So hopefully we can stay healthy, but you see what this lineup is like without Brandon Nemo. It's rough. Other news, Pete Alonso gets in a car accident, flipped over 3 times. Thankfully, he is okay. You could tell he was really shooken up in his interview about it. You could tell he's really thankful to be on this team, thankful to be back, thankful to be alive, man. It's crazy shit like this happens. Crazy drivers on the road. It's scary stuff, man. So good to see Pete back healthy. Hopefully looking forward to really good season from Pete. He took today off. He did some drills. Took some time off though, obviously personal reasons. Tomorrow I think he'll be getting full action, full workouts here in spring training. At Epdog's press conference with Buck, obviously in the offseason, you don't really focus on what the manager has to say. You look at the manager for obviously in-game decisions, not necessarily roster moves. So F-Dog obviously talked about some moves. He said he's not looking to add a big bat. Hopefully, if that's the route, they get another solid guy, another good role player, guy like Brad Miller, Eddie Rosario, Jock Peterson, a guy who doesn't have to play every day but will get significant time. My approach this offseason was I wanted to get the Mark Hannas, the Escobars of the world, but you need to supplement those guys with some other guys at their level, platoon them, put them in the right matchup, stuff like that. Our lineup, it's honestly kind of mid right now. I know that's cringe to say, but that's kind of the only way I can describe it. Nemo, you hope Lindor, Alonso, your big hitters, but guys like McNeil, Escobar, Canna, McCann, obviously. Canna, I think, is a bit above those guys, but um, lacking a bit on the offensive side, but have put good years in the past. I like the Mets offseason. I just want them to add a little bit more. I think built some true depth. We saw the bench mob, all that stuff was great and whatnot. But you know me, I'm always about getting that proven, solidified veteran talent. I know people want to see Khalil Lee, Nick Plummer, guys like that, Tyler McGill in the rotation, excuse me, maybe even David Peterson. But for me, if you can get that vet, to just have a proven guy, just in case, I'll take that any day of the week. Other news, the Braves acquire Freddie Freeman. Other news, the Braves acquire Matt Olson from the Oakland A's. This means Freddie Freeman is gone. As much as I hate the Braves, I've always liked Freddie Freeman. Hard to hate the guy. I am praying. Sounds weird. He signs with the Yankees. Just get him away from the Dodgers. That's all I hope for. Having Olson in the East and Freddie in the playoffs, which I'm guessing the Mets will make the playoffs this year with this roster, and just the Braves got a lot weaker. Phillies are terrible. Marlins aren't quite there yet. Nationals are a joke. I think the Mets can make the playoffs, and a Freddie Freeman-led Dodger team will not make me happy to face them, not make me hopeful to face them in the playoffs. So hopefully Freddie Freeman signs with some random slapdick team. I don't know, the Diamondbacks or something. As long as he doesn't go to the Dodgers, that's cool by me. Believes the Braves gave up Pache, Langeliers, and some other guys. Obviously, prospects. When you're a win now team, you're going to trade prospects for bona fide studs. That's what the Braves did. Got an absolute stud third baseman who's way cheaper than Freddie Freeman and much younger. Really good move by the Braves. You obviously wish, if I were a Brave fan, I would rather have Freddie Freeman just because he's proven it in Atlanta. He's been there for so long, but I do believe Matt Olson is from Georgia originally, so I guess almost a hometown reunion from him. So good move from that. Not happy to have to face him. Really solid left-handed bat. Perfect Freddie Freeman replacement. So that's going to do it for me, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this little mini podcast episode. If you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments down below. And I'll answer them on the next show. Probably going to try to pump out a show every 1 or 2 weeks. Do some Jet stuff as well. Kind of get back in the groove of doing this stuff. Obviously, Mets Weekly. Sub to all the Mets Weekly guys. Andrew, Hayden, Frank, Tony, Carson. I don't think I'm missing anybody. But yeah, really fun episode to be back. Let me know what you guys think about the Bassitt move. Ottavino. Lockout being over. We didn't really address that. Baseball is back. That is great. We're still getting a 162 game season, so that is awesome. If you have any questions, leave them down below. I'd love to answer them on the show. If you guys are interested, I might bring back the voicemail line just because I know I used to be, the call-ins guy. We joke about on Mets Weekly. So if you want to call in voicemail-wise, I won't be doing live shows. I really don't have the time or the schedule to do it consistently. So if you want to do that, if you want me to do that, just suggest that down below. Give me some feedback down below. Drop a like on the video. You guys know what to do. This was Elias here on Big Apple Baseball Banter, here on Big Apple Banter Media, and I will see you guys next time.